Hi there, and thanks for joining us for Pier 11 News at noon. We're starting our Friday with breaking news from the Minneapolis Police Department. Cece, I know that we're learning more about two major cases.
Yes, so just 30 minutes ago, police began a press conference unveiling new body cam footage from separate incidents involving officers. I've been watching it for the last 30 minutes, so I'll have more on that soon.
And of course, we're going to dive into that in just a moment. But first, we do have more rain in the forecast. What can we expect there?
Yes, right now we are tracking some what we call training thunderstorms across parts of southern Minnesota right now. Here is a live look at radar. And when we say training, we mean these thunderstorms are rolling over the same areas, dumping just torrential rain. Now, none of this is including the Twin Cities metro yet, but notice that line of storms from St. James towards the Mankato area and say just north of Owatonna. Those storms are dropping rainfall rates between 1 and 2 inches per hour. In fact, we already have a flash flood warning for parts of Blue Earth and extreme southern Nicollet County. That does include the downtown Mankato area. That runs for another couple of hours or so. Radar estimates between 1 and 2 inches of rain has already fallen within a short amount of time, and that could be leading to some flash flooding. Also, westbound I-90 west of Worthington, between Worthington and the city of Laverne, is actually closed due to flooding, and you can certainly see that line of storm. So we have flooding that's actively taking place. Southern half of the state of Minnesota is under a flood watch both today and tomorrow with several rounds of heavy rain. Now, the emphasis is across southern Minnesota, especially the I-90 corridor, and exactly where we're seeing some of those heavier showers. Your hour-by-hour forecast does look wet the rest of the day today. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast just ahead, Alexis.
Ben, thank you. And now to our breaking news. Officers are releasing footage from two incidents involving Minneapolis police. One involves the shooting death of a man police say had a weapon. Cece, what do we know right now?
Yeah, so a lot to break down this afternoon. Chief Brian O'Hara has been meeting with reporters for the last 30 minutes, and as we speak, he's walking them through the body camera video from May 30th. Now, that's when Officer Jamal Mitchell was killed. Just minutes ago, I watched the moments leading up to that shooting. I'll have a breakdown of that in our 12:30 half hour. But O'Hara is also walking them through a deadly force incident from last week on June 12th. Now, that was an incident in Minneapolis's Longfellow neighborhood. It all started with a 911 call last Wednesday night about a man with a gun on 29th Avenue. Minutes later, a similar report just a few blocks over on 34th in Hiawatha. Now, in both of those 911 calls to police, residents reported seeing a man with a gun acting strange. Now, one of the callers said he was talking to himself. When officers got to Hiawatha Avenue, the man took off and they chased him. Chief O'Hara says officers told the man they were police and he was under arrest. We're told that's when a confrontation at the end of that chase happened and the man was allegedly armed with a handgun, and officers told him to drop the gun multiple times, but he didn't. And that's when deadly force was used. The suspect taken to the hospital but later died. So we'll have the body camera breakdown of that incident this evening, but still stick around for another 30 minutes too, because I'll have more on that body cam footage from the Officer Jamal Mitchell situation. We have a breakdown and officers explaining that situation.
There's such a process to even how they share the information. Thank you for breaking that down for us, Cece. Well, right now, the Stillwater Lift Bridge is closed to any walkers or drivers as crews address ongoing flooding. Michelle Beck shows us where the water levels stand right now.
Crews are set to work on the Stillwater Lift Bridge behind me to prepare for any possible flooding. The DOT says their flood prep work is due to all this rain plus rising water levels on the St. Croix. On latest check, the river hasn't hit minor flooding yet, but it is on its way up. So crews are weighing the bridge down to prevent it from moving with any floodwaters. And all morning long, we saw barricades and road closure signs go up in the parking lots near us. And so do know that parking will be limited as this flood prep work continues. In Stillwater, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Michelle, thank you. And right now, Governor Walz is in St. Louis County to survey the damage that prompted a local emergency disaster declaration. Jennifer Hoff gives us a closer look at what he's expected to see.
Damage estimates are upwards of $50 million throughout the county, several million according to officials here in Cook alone. This, of course, is hours north of the Twin Cities, but a popular place for golfing and boating. And at peak season, people here want you to know that they're open for business. Still, leaders say cleanup is massive, and they are asking people for patience and to be safe. County commissioners unanimously approved a state of local disaster to free up state and federal money. What makes this even worse is that more rain is expected into the weekend. Officials aren't sure when the river here in town will even crest, but they do expect the water levels to rise at least another 8 inches. In Cook, Jennifer Hoff, KARE 11 News.
With more rain on the way this weekend, it's a really good time to scan the QR code you see right there on the screen. Download the KARE 11 weather app. It has live updates, radar, and custom forecast whenever you want. It's free in any app store. In a major ruling just this morning, the U.S. Supreme Court is upholding a federal law banning domestic abusers from owning a gun. Gun rights groups argued that the law violated a Second Amendment. However, in an 8-1 decision, the High Court rejected that. Justice Clarence Thomas was the only dissent. This ruling could help clear up some confusion in lower courts following the expansion of gun laws in 2022. Well, here's some of the other last-minute Supreme Court decisions coming with just more than a week left in the session. One of the biggest cases on the docket, former President Donald Trump's claims of absolute immunity for criminal persecution. They also have another historic abortion case to decide. This one asks whether doctors can perform the procedure in a medical emergency. And we'll, of course, continue to follow the latest out of the Supreme Court as more opinions are sent down. Well, today we're following up on a tragic story out of Cottage Grove. Yesterday, a toddler died after drowning in a family pool. This is a map of where it all happened on Johansson Avenue South. Police say it was family and neighbors who found the 3-year-old unresponsive in the pool. They tried to pull her to safety. Life-saving measures were attempted right away. First responders were on the scene within 3 minutes of the 911 call, but the toddler died at the hospital. At this point, police are not suspecting any foul play. We have an update from Hopkins High School where we're following an alleged assault of a transgender student. Juvenile charges have been filed in connection to the incident. Cobalt Sovereign claims they were punched leaving a bathroom at school 3 weeks ago, breaking their jaw in 2 places. Because the suspect is underage, the charges are not public. Well, we're seeing some changes when it comes to the population around the metro. Here's where the numbers fall.
I'm John Croman. Population growth here in the Twin Cities Metro is off to a slower start this decade. According to new numbers from the Metropolitan Council, between 2020 and 2023, the outer burbs grew faster than the urban core. In fact, Lakeville here had the fastest growth of any city in the area. They added 5,700 residents during that 3-year period. The mayor credits it to strong schools, good parks, and solid law enforcement, plus the fact that there's still open land here for new housing developments.
Well, this past weekend, our community lost an icon. On Sunday, 64-year-old Reverend Dennis Oglesby died after complications of a heart attack. Oglesby led congregations at 3 churches in the Twin Cities over the last 30 years, most recently at Camphor United Methodist in St. Paul. Our Jana Shordahl spoke with his wife, Greta, about the loss.
Dennis he was such a great provider. Again, he was such a great husband and friend. I mean, he was my best friend. And so it's it's difficult. But if you ask me to tell you about Dennis, then my face lights up because he was an extraordinary man. And I have all these, wonderful memories to hold on to forever.
Definitely a great loss for the community. Dennis was a man of great faith and a community leader in every way possible. He will be celebrated this weekend in a memorial and next week by his fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, in his hometown of Chicago. Well, when we come back, we're talking with a representative with the Minnesota Hard Bop Collective about where we can go to hear live music this weekend, a preview of music at Twin Cities Jazz Festival. And of course, Ben, you're back at 12:15.
That's right. We are talking more heavy rain potential and currently some flash flooding happening across the southern part of the state. We will highlight the drier times of the weekend right after this.
As Minnesota celebrates the 40th anniversary of Prince's Purple Rain, we take you back to where it all began.
First of all, nobody thought it was going to be a big deal.
Stories from those who were there, Monday at 10.